horror, you know.
They're going to lift yourself.
So, yeah, and it's like $40 a year. I'm going, gee, we get one place off that list and it's paid for itself.
Mm-hmm. No kidding.
Yeah, so I got as soon as I get I got to grab the trailer registration and get the plate number so I can put it in there because that's what they want, and then I'm going to sign up for that sucker.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, and they had like 500 locations around the country that are a part of their group. You know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, yeah, I would think that this would be a cool thing for meaderies that have the space to do that sort of thing. You know, obviously not a lot of them will.
Yeah. If you got an apiary attached, you might actually have the land to be able to offer something like that.
Gee, I wonder if they cover Canada.
No. They
all have apiaries. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do they really?
Oh, yeah. It's a law.
Yeah. I think for just being a small meadery, you have to have, in some provinces, you can get away with having 75 hives, but most of them want you to have over 100. So there's no starting small in Canada. Yeah. There's no starting small.
No sourcing?
Nope. I'm not sure what the regulations say about using your own honey. I'm not sure you actually have to. And the same thing with fruit. You have to be able to grow your own fruit. I don't know that you actually have to use it.
So it would be funny. You could actually sell off everything you produce and actually store your... That's funny.
Yeah, I gotta look into the regulations myself.
Yeah, she's gonna go pro at some point. So this is all like an ongoing exercise for her.
Yeah. Market research.
Yeah, exactly. So, you guys are reasonably new-ish to the scene as pro meaderies, and so I don't know how many people, other than your fans, know you guys real well. So I'd love it if you just kind of tell us a little bit about you and William, and how you got into mead making, and ended up making, deciding to step into the addiction and money pit that is a meadery.
Well, basically, it's an overgrown hobby. Will got retired from the military a couple years ago because he had a training accident training for deployment. And so the things that we were doing for careers no longer became an option. And he started making mead, and I was helping him. And, we just started on the hobby level, and it just kind of grew and grew and grew. And it's like, well, we need something where we can determine our own hours, because I'm his caregiver, so I had to leave my full-time job at Hewlett-Packard. I used to be a tech person out there doing a bunch of brand new stuff that changed, every couple of years as I got different positions, but suffice it to say everything from IT to project management. But anyways, that was another life, and in this life, we're basically making Mythic Mead is the first dedicated meadery in all of Idaho. So
wow! Congratulations.
Thank you. It's definitely a labor of love for us.
How was it that you discovered mead in the first place? I'm always curious about that.
Actually, that was something my husband found, and I believe it was because he found it actually before his injury, because he was working out at Gowan Field. He was a tech out there at the base, and one of the guys that he knew out there, one of his coworkers, introduced him to it on the homebrewing level. And he's like, well, that sounds interesting. I kind of want to do that because, my husband has a really big sweet tooth, and beers weren't really his thing unless they were made really to the sweet side of things. So he's like, honey, I'm going to try that out. So we went ahead and tried it, and I actually love the range because I have a drier palate than he does. And...
Shauna, where'd you go?
Shauna?
Yep. Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
You just cut out strange.
Oh, here. Is that any better?
Yes.
Maybe I got stuck on my phone. Sorry.
Last thing I heard was that you have a drier palate, and then you got all strange.
Yeah, I have a drier palate than he does, so it pretty much just grew from there. And just basically the hobby, we started doing business planning, and then it started getting some real numbers behind it. And we started doing some research with the AMMA and taking a look at, all of the ins and outs of what it would really take to go big with it, or not big, but, actually go commercial instead of our garage. So we've got a place down in Garden City, Idaho. That's where we produce out of. And, it's been a journey, and we've been learning so much. We started filing all our paperwork a little over a year ago, and so now we're finally to the point where we get to make stuff and actually make it and give it out to sell it out to people.
Cool.
Cool.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Really hate trying to type and talk at the same time.
Yeah.
It is a skill.
It is a
How
skill,
long-
yeah.
How long have you been since you went pro? Since you guys opened, are you officially open already, or?
Oh yeah, we're officially open now. We first filed our ABN, so our assumed business name, with the state of Idaho, back August 2015, and it's just mostly been paperwork. We bottled our first batch this month, actually, and the response has been really good so far. I mean, a lot of people in the Treasure Valley, which is where I live, of Idaho, just aren't familiar with mead yet. And so there is a large learning curve there of people actually learning, hey, there's an alternative to beer and wine. And, yeah, most people like it. So,
Nice.
well, once they taste it, So, yeah, kind of where we're at.
That's pretty cool. How long when did you guys open your doors?
Well, we don't have a tasting room, so opening doors is kind of a phrase. I don't know if it fully applies to us. We got our vendor shippers up and running, and actually with the first listing earlier this month. And we got in a brick and mortar store and did our product debut on February 11th.
Oh,
Really brand new then.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Cool.
Yeah, I knew you guys were fresh, but I didn't realize how fresh.
Yeah. Well, to this point, it's mostly been just paperwork and some light marketing, but yeah, we're actually getting to be a meadery now and do the fun stuff.
And I like the fact that you guys are doing the no sulfite sort of natural, all natural sort of mead and using filtration, I guess. How hard was it to go from the 5-gallon batches to the bigger commercial size batches? Was that like a big adjustment?
Oh, definitely. And it's something where we're still refining all of the process on that. One of the biggest things that I've noticed personally is on the 5-gallon batches, you can let it ferment out. If it wants to go to 20 ABV, you can do that. TTB, that's not so much an option. So we cold crash to stop our ABV where we want it to stop, where it has to stop for our labeling. And then after that, we go ahead and filter out so that we don't have to worry about any fermenting beyond that point. And we filter down to what needs to be maintained for sterile so that the yeast, there isn't enough yeast left in there to actually start fermenting again.
So that's what, half a micron, is it?
It's 0.45. Actually, once you start 5 micron, it gets most of it out, or about half of it out. Once you get down to 1 micron, it gets most of it out, and 0.45, you pretty much have nothing left. 0.3, you start to lose flavor.
Okay. So what kind of filter do you use?
We actually use membrane filters.
Mm.
So, think plate frame or cartridge, as opposed to like fancy centrifuge, which would be nice, but that's capital.
Yeah, and expensive, and a lot pricier than than the other routes. That's all great and fine.
Oh, yeah.
If you're making
That's 5 to 10 years when we can afford to make that sort of equipment investment.
Well, you might be surprised. I mean, look at what Sergio did. I mean, he was, he was just Well, he's cranking, I'll tell you that much. He's been doing
I
this
know that.
for a little over 2 years now.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, maybe I need to change some production.
Yeah, you might want to. Well, you guys are members of the MMA, right?
We used to be, but we didn't this year just because our federal permitting took a little bit longer than expected because they lost paperwork and didn't tell us about it. And so we're kind of recovering from that, but it probably will change next year.
Okay. Well, then go look at the first, I want to say it's the first 6 or 8 Sergio's What I Learned at 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, and so forth are on Got Mead. And he kind of tells a story of what they did, what he learned, what worked, what didn't work, that kind of thing. And it's a really good series. The rest of it is behind the paywall at AMMA for members. So, and he goes up to past 2 years.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, so it's a really great way to kind of get some insight because, you know, I mean, he was the first meadery in New Jersey, so he was also a, trendsetter in his state, like you guys, and, you know, and doing something different and nobody knew what it was. So, you know, it can happen.
How to attack the beast.
Exactly. You know, it's like, you know, what to do and how to make that, you know, how to leverage stuff. So.
Well, and I gotta say, all of the other professional and commercial mead makers that we've met so far, online or whatever, mostly online because nobody's in the same state.
Yeah.
You know, they've been wonderful. They've been so easy to talk with and get pointers from. So I really gotta say thanks to everybody that we've talked with so far.
Yeah, we're a pretty friendly bunch. So it didn't used to always be that way, but in the last 10 years or so, it's gotten. We've realized that if we help each other, everybody wins. You know.
Oh, it does. I mean, we're not to the point of saturation yet in the market that we have to start being concerned about that, in my opinion.
It's going to be a while, like 15, 20 years.
Even craft beer isn't there yet.
Yeah, they've been doing this for 25 years, so. I don't know how old you are, Shauna, but I'm fairly certain that we won't reach saturation in my lifetime. So
yeah.
I think somebody hit the nail on the head. I forget who it was. Maybe it was a couple, 3 weeks ago that said that it's, you know, there shouldn't be any competition between different craft mead makers because it's really mead as a whole competing with cider and beer and everybody else. You know, so
I believe that was Monsieur Schramm. Not surprising.
Monsieur Schramm. There you go. Of course.
His nibs himself. Yeah. If he's listening, and I doubt it because he's usually working, but if he's listening, I'm sure he's rolling his eyes right now.
Of course.
You want to make him roll his eyes? You just walk up to him and fawn over him. You know, oh, Mr. Schramm, I am such a fan. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm meeting you. And his eyes just roll. You know? He is the least assuming person you will ever meet. Ken is an amazing guy. He really is.
You know, it's going to be really hard not to do that, right?
I know you're going to fanboy. You're just totally going to fanboy. You're going to squeal like a little girl.
And the whole we're not worthy thing.
Yeah, that would be so fun. We could throw ourselves on the ground.
That's so frustrating.
Oh my God. Poor Ken. He's going to hate me.
Take a picture of his face.
I may have to organize like a mass we're not worthy. You know, like he walks out of the room and 20 people throw themselves on the ground. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Well,
I need to bring my knee pads.
I was planning on bringing the complete mead maker and going down on one knee and handing that to him and a pen at the same time and just bowing my head. Was that excessive? Or?
No, that would totally work. He would grin.
I was planning to do pretty much the same thing.
Not just a pen, a feathered quill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I may have a feathered quill around here somewhere. I'll have to look. Oh, God, that would be the best.
Yep, it's one of those evenings.
Well, you'll have your opportunity. He is the afternoon keynote at the MMA Mead Conference, so he will be the last speaker of the day.
Well, I wish I was able to go.
I'm seriously tempted to tell all the 75 people that are going to be there to have them all line up on either side of the door, so he has to walk through a gauntlet on his way out.
I just got a message from Joel here.
Fanning them with palm leaves or something.
What did Joel say?
Joel said, "Do it, definitely do it."
Definitely
I
do
did
it.
it, and he signed